Hello everyone, it is your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black, the one and only, here with another exciting live stream. Give me one moment to get the live chat up. If you're not familiar with these videos, what I do is I talk about my day without reading the live chat for a bit. Then I post everything that I said about my day into the description box of the video. And then after I post everything of what I've got confused while I was talking. Then after I post everything I say about my day into the description box, I read the live chat. We have like a conversation with each other. It more or less becomes like a hangout where we can just talk about whatever we want for an hour. And then after I've streamed for about an hour, I then go over my day again without reading the live chat. And then after that, I read any comments that I missed and finally end the stream. So it starts off being just a review of my day, then it becomes a hangout where I hang out with all of you, and then after we hang out for a bit, it just becomes another review of my day before then we like end the stream. So I hope everyone's excited, at least for the hangout portion, if not for the my day portion of it. It's just an easy way for people to keep track of like what I'm up to, be able to talk with me on like a regular basis because I do this every day after midnight. So if you ever have any questions for me or you just want to hang out and talk with me or learn about my day, this is the best way to do it. I'm actually gonna post what I'm gonna like what I did today in the description ahead of time since like no one's immediately on. Um, I don't feel like I miss anything by doing that. Then I don't have to worry about doing it later. I might even tag the video depending on how long it takes for someone to actually jump onto the live stream. It just would be nice to get that all out of the way. I number the individual points of like each thing that I did during the day. It seems like today I had 11 points, which means a lot more than it used to. Each point used to be like really short. Now I try to make each point feel like a story. That way, there's like more substance to me breaking down my day. Points aren't just like skip overable stuff. They're things that actually had an impact on the rest of the day or were entertaining in general to like hear about. That way, it's not like I brush my teeth and then I walk to class. Um, but anyways, I now have everything that I did today in the description. Since no one's currently watching at the moment, I'll also tag the video. I don't see why not. Just get it out of the way. Less for me to do later. And also put the video in the proper category. So give me one moment to do that. I say to an empty stream. I'm sure that people will log in a little bit later, but it's nice to get all this maintenance out of the way ahead of time. Channel's been growing a lot recently. We're now at 980 subscribers, which I just have to thank you guys for that. That's all you smashing that subscribe button, showing your support. I appreciate it. It's been a long time coming, and I feel like we will continue to grow in the future. And I just couldn't do it without you guys. I know that we mentioned that we would do like a ebook giveaway thing. I'm still totally down to do that. We'll organize some way to do it. For when we hit 1,000 subscribers. I'm curious to see how much will grow over time because right now we're at a steady 48 subscribers in the last 28 days. I remember for the longest time we used to get like a subscriber a day, but at 48 we're getting like not necessarily 2 subscribers a day. We're not there yet, but we're like getting like close to that, and that's exciting. It's just a lot more development than what we used to have. Also, did I mess up again and put like the wrong date? I'm really bad about that. I sure did. It can't be the 23rd vlog. The 23rd hasn't happened yet. This is the 23rd's like right now, but the vlog has to be about the day before. So there we go. January 22nd, 2019 vlog. So now the tags are right and the categories right and everything else. So now I can go back to the live chat, see what you all have been talking about. So yes, I'm going to leave that, scroll down, there we go. And no one's here yet, so now I'll just go over my day. With no one being here at the beginning, it actually makes it easier for me to go over my day without looking at the live chat. Because I don't have to during that beginning portion. And besides, I go over it again at the end of the video, so I don't think anyone's missed anything. Plus, it's in the description box, so no one misses anything in the first place. So without further ado, let me go over my day. So I freshened up and went to bed, only to wake up in the morning with bad stomach cramps. So I am not someone who's like experienced cramps a lot, like throughout just being an adult. I'm only like 21 years old, so I haven't been like doing much. You know what I mean? When it comes to like, man, I'm cramping. I'm not like an old person or like a sickly person. So feeling stomach cramps was like a weird and like new experience for me. So I assumed that the easiest way to like not feel the stomach cramps anymore would probably be to just like use the restroom. So I go to use the restroom and my stomach's like, no, no, you're just not. You're just not gonna. You're just not gonna use the restroom. I'm like, nigga, what are you talking about? You're gonna use the restroom. So I go like, take a big dump, but then my stomach is like bloated, and I still feel like I need to like use the restroom more, but you can't because the cramps or whatever. So I'm like, fuck it. I get up and I wash my hands. And the weird thing about when I wash my hands, I normally like try to like get like in between like my knuckles and shit and like wash out like my fingernails. I try to be like really thorough when I wash my hands to make sure that they're clean. So I'm washing my hands and I'm just stomach cramps just fucking just going in. And like the more that like my stomach cramps, the like less I want to like be standing up. So as I'm washing my hands, I just kind of go fuck it. I just wash my hands like a normal person. I don't go into like doctor precision on like trying to get like each knuckle. I just like stop washing my hands. Like I finish, I like make sure I get all the soap off my hands and shit. I dry my hands and then I lie down. So as I'm lying down, I at first try to lie down on my stomach, and cramps are like, yeah, you think that's a good idea? You think that's a good idea? And I'm like, no, no, okay, I got you. So I like roll over on my side, and when I roll over on my side, I feel like my bloated stomach like lean down, like I feel it move. And that really fucked with me, and it was like, ooh, that was you thought that was a better idea, and I was like, no, no. So then I roll over, and I just lay like flat on my back, and finally I feel like a little bit of relief. The cramps aren't like completely gone, but they're not like kicking my ass. So I'm lying there, and then as soon as I feel like I'm like at peace a little bit, maybe I can rest a little longer, and the cramps will like go away, and I'll be able to just like take a shit. I get like a call from Madde, and my stomach goes, ooh, you gonna get up to get that phone call? So, the stomach's essentially like cracking its knuckles, is getting ready to just like go in on me again. And I'm like, ooh, I don't. This seems like a bad idea. So I like pick up the phone, but I'm still like lying down. And Maddie's like, yo, and I'm like, hey, like I'm not like feeling too hot. And me and Maddie like talk on the phone for a bit, and I tell her cause she like wants to like come over and like hang out. I'm like, no, no. At this point, I'm not even sure if I'm gonna do like a fan poll video for the day because of the fact that I just feel like so like fucked over by like the stomach cramp thing. Cause I just like felt sick. I didn't really know why. My assumption is that maybe I ate something weird at 88 Buffet because your digestive system is not based on necessarily what you ate yesterday. It's like what you ate like a couple days ago. And I think the weirdest like out of diet thing I've had recently is going to 88 Buffet, which I really enjoyed, but I probably had like some bad sushi or something that I wasn't aware of at the time, and that's not like too surprising for like an Asian buffet, but it like really was like kicking my ass. So, I talked to Maddie, and I'm like, give me like a little bit of time. I don't think I'm ready to hang out like just yet. And I get off the phone with Maddie. I decide like, you know what? I'm gonna like suck it up. I'm gonna just like get up. I'm gonna like try to use the restroom again. So I get up, I go to the restroom, and then my body just goes. And it was like a very quick like release, and I was just better. I just and I was like, "Yo, why didn't you do that before?" Like, but I'm glad that it wasn't like an all day thing. But that did eat up like a portion of my day. Like it made me a lot less productive because I would have used that time to have like gone to Sandella's and like eaten like on meal plan, which would have used up like one of my meal swipes for the week. And I would have like freshened up already and like walked around. So I felt behind in my day, and I ended up not eating until like much later. But I was glad that I was feeling better and I was like ready for action. So the next thing that I did is I opened up chapter 2 of my business strategy class book and I started taking notes. Last time when I went to my business strategy class, I didn't read the chapter for the day and we didn't have a pop quiz or anything. But realizing that I didn't read the chapter last time, I was like, I better read the chapter this time because if there is a pop quiz, I don't want to get cut. I don't want to like miss out on the pop quiz. So I took notes, and then after that, I did a fan poll stream. But no one voted because I posted the stream late. You know, people were waiting for me to post the stream at like 9 a.m. But at 9 a.m., I was like going through like the cramp stuff, and I just wasn't feeling it. So I like didn't do a video at the time. So because no one voted on the fan poll stream at like past the normal time of like 1 p.m. for people to vote, I just streamed the Jump Force open beta again, which got a lot of attention because once again I streamed another video while the open beta was closed for other people. So people, of course, jumped into the live chat. They were like, "Yo, oh hey, I'm John Mason. Welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. Don't forget to smash that like button." People were like, "Yo, he's like streaming the Jump Force open beta. It's not even open," and it caused a lot of hype. So we got like 140 live viewers on the live stream, and I was like really excited about that. Vanessa Brooks said hi. Yo, Vanessa Brooks, welcome to the stream. Don't forget to smash that like button. So the Jump Force open beta streams have been going really well ever since I figured out that exploit that allows me to play the open beta while it's closed. Those videos have been getting a lot of attention, so I'm glad that people are like enjoying that content. So after that, of course, I went to my strategy class, my business strategy class, and we had another awesome discussion. That class is all about having like in-class discussions, this time about competitive forces. Now, in class, I noticed something about my teacher. My teacher always like analyzes like your logic on something, and she'll say the word logic like 80 times during class. She'll be like, I'm having trouble wrapping my head around your logic. Oh, interesting logic. Oh, your logic ties into their logic. So it's like her buzzword is to like discuss your logic and how your logic works with the different concepts. Whenever she goes over something new in class, her eyes will like pop. Like she'll get like really fierce and she'll go like, "Does everyone understand what we're talking about?" And then she'll go, "Huh? Huh?" She does like the finger guns thing and she walks around the room like looking at people trying to make sure they get it. So she has like this energy about her like when she's teaching the class. But it almost makes it feel like you're in like a skit, like it's not real life. But we have a lot of really cool discussions where we talk about business and business strategy. She actually brought up a contest that's going on where you could win like a thick chunk of change by submitting like a business pitch. It would be like a 5 minute business pitch video, and it just has to be an idea. You don't have to actually like make a project. And I'd be interested in maybe competing. I should probably email her about it. But it just sounds like something I could do, and if it worked out, it worked out, and if it didn't, it only would take up like 5 minutes of my time. I make videos all the time, anyways. Might as well enter a video contest. But it seemed like a pretty cool idea. I'll probably hit it up. During class, I brought up a topic that started an interesting sidebar about older demographics purchasing video game consoles as substitutes for cheaper traditional media players. So in class, we have discussion all the time, but normally the discussions are based on things that the teacher brings up directly. The teacher brought up the idea that substitute goods create like price caps on things. Essentially, let's say you're selling product A and your opponent is selling product B, and product A and B both are like just about the same product. So your consumer, the customer, could easily say, I want to get product B instead of A, or I want to get product A instead of B, because they're essentially the same thing. So what you can't do is you can't really charge more for product A than for product B because of the fact that they're the same thing. Because your customer's just going to go, well, I don't want product A because it's more expensive than product B. So what I brought up is an example where that's not true, where the substitute, like product A, costs way more than product B, but people still want to get product A more than product B. The reason why I mentioned how older people like to buy like video game consoles instead of traditional media players is because Blu-ray players are like $30 now. They're like really cheap. Some you can get that are like more expensive, like $80, but now they're like $30. But my dad, for like a hot minute, was considering getting like a PlayStation 4 instead of getting a Blu ray player. but a PlayStation 4 is like 10 times the cost. It costs like you could get 10 Blu-ray players for like one PS4. But the reason why is because you get so much functionality out of like a PlayStation 4. Like of course it can play Blu-rays, but it also can play video games, it can stream Netflix, and you can do all these different things with it, that makes it like more interesting than just buying like a normal Blu-ray player. And it started just like causing a bunch of conversation in class. People just started chiming in, just talking about like, yeah, like old people like bought a whole bunch of Wii's and they like used it for like Wii Fit. Video game consoles are becoming more of like a media player, and it is an example of a substitute good that costs more, but people are still willing to buy it, and blah 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 blah. And, and I was like, I'm glad this really popped off. Like, I just thought I was gonna like interject something that was related, but I didn't think it would like pick up that much traction. So I'm glad that it snowballed and it became like the main discussion. I thought that was pretty cool. John Mason said, "Your teacher sounds really fun though. She is, most deaf." And then John Mason said, "Hello, Vanessa." Let's see. Also, I'm glad that I read the chapter for class this time around ahead of time, because we did have a pop quiz. Last time I didn't read the chapter and we didn't have a pop quiz. This time I did read the chapter and we did have a pop quiz, so I was hella prepared. The quiz was very easy and I was one of the first people done. I'm pretty sure I could have passed that quiz without reading the chapter, but I'm glad that I did read the chapter because it ensured that I was even more prepared than I had to be. After my business strategy class, Maddie picked me up from the business administration building. So instead of me walking back to the dorm, Maddie like hung out at the building where I had my class. And then when it was time to go, we just rolled out and we went to cook out for milkshakes. And I ate my one meal for the day. I tried cheer wine for the first time. I would describe it as a better patio cherry. Patio cherry is a cherry soda that tastes like cough syrup. Cheer wine takes that and makes it taste more like cola. It's not bad, but it's just not the best. Believe it or not, even though patio cherry may sound gross, the fact that it's a soda that tastes like cough syrup is actually not that bad. It's my go-to soda whenever I go to like Bojangles. It's the only place I know that like sells patio cherry. But even though it tastes like cough syrup as a soda, it's not really that bad. Cheerwine makes it taste more like a cherry Coke, which I understand why they would do that. Not everyone fucks with like the taste of like cough syrup. But for some reason, I think I would prefer patio cherry because it just feels like a more unique flavor. I don't know. Because because of the fact that you can only compare it to cough syrup shows the fact that most things don't taste that way. When I had Cheerwine, I was like, Cheerwine just kind of tastes like cherry Coke, but with less Coke and more cherry. And I don't know, I think I fuck with patio cherry more. It's not bad, like I said, it's just not the best thing in the world. John Mason said, "Well, I'm lucky to be here because I woke up early to work till I got ready for school." Okay, well, welcome to the stream. I'm glad that you're here. Also, I noticed that we have 3 viewers and 2 likes. Could we get it to 3 viewers and 3 likes? I definitely appreciate it. Level Vision asked, "What am I doing?" I'm just going over my day. Then after I go over my day, I'm gonna have like a conversation with the live chat where I'll just hang out and talk about whatever. For right now, I'm not really paying too close attention to the live chat. I want to get through all the points of my day. But once I'm done going over all the points of my day, we're just gonna hang out and we're just gonna talk in the live chat. So please excuse me if I don't read everything in the live chat. Right now, I'm focusing mainly on going over my day. Vanessa Brooks said, "Should I buy Jump Force?" I'd heavily recommend picking up Jump Force. Seems like it's a great game. I've been playing a lot of the open beta, and it just seems pretty dope. Level Vision said, "How do I donate?" We have a Patreon, so feel free to hit up the Patreon and donate as much as you want. I believe we have links to the Patreon on the channel, so feel free to hit up the channel description and go to the Patreon and feel free to donate. I truly appreciate it. But without further ado, I'm going to jump into my day and then I'm going to jump into the live chat. So, like I said, please excuse me if I don't read the live chat for a period, but I will get back to the live chat momentarily after I finish going over my day. And also, if you want to follow me, I have all this posted in the description of the video, like the steps of what I did today. So, you guys can follow me step by step through my day in the description box. So, continuing where I left off. So then, after cookout, Maddie and I went back to the dorm and worked on homework for a bit before class. I turned in my marketing case study only 2 minutes before the start of class, so I cut it really close. In marketing, we had an interesting conversation discussing the difference between food porn and porn food. Food porn is just nice pictures of food, while porn food is a little less safe for work. The reason why it came up is because our teacher is Italian, and in Italy, the way that they put adjectives and nouns is reversed from how we do it in English. So she kept referring to food porn as porn food, and someone in class got like really uncomfortable with it and was like, please stop doing that. That like you're gonna say that to like the wrong person, and they're just gonna be like really confused on what you're talking about. Also, my marketing teacher brought up that for the final presentation in class, when we're all presenting like our final projects, that she'd be interested in me filming it for my YouTube channel. She also asked for my YouTube channel name, so she might be a subscriber now. So hey, thank you for smashing that subscribe button. Truly appreciate it. So that's cool. Let's see. So after marketing, I had a fun time in marketing as well. That's another class where we do like a good bit of discussion, but I feel like my business strategy class does way more discussion than the marketing class. But I do love classes where you do a lot of in-class discussion and talk. I just feel like in marketing it's more raise your hand, where in business strategy it's a lot more like show out, talk, discuss. It's like open forum, and you can just kind of talk about it, anything you want. You know what I mean? So moving forward, after that, I went back to the dorm and I watched the first two parts of the CW Elseworlds crossover, and then I fell asleep during part three. I woke up, I thought about the future, and I thought about Danica for a bit, and then I started exercising. I finally have made my playlist of the best songs from this week's SoundCloud Weekly. SoundCloud Weekly is a automated playlist that SoundCloud makes of like songs that SoundCloud thinks you'll like based on your listening history. So what I do is I listen to the entire SoundCloud Weekly. Then after I listen to every song from SoundCloud Weekly, I pick the best songs and I put them in a playlist, and then that playlist becomes my soundtrack for the rest of the week. On SoundCloud, I only listen to that playlist for like the whole week in an attempt to train SoundCloud to learn what songs I like in the hopes of making the SoundCloud Weekly each week better than the previous week. So I finally made my playlist for this week, which will be my personal soundtrack for the rest of this week, and the link to that is in the description box below. So if you guys want to also jam to like the music that I'm going to be jamming to this week, feel free to click on that link and check out that playlist. So while I exercised, I watched a video by True Underdog Gaming. True Underdog is a popular fighting game YouTuber, and the video I watched was talking about Mortal Kombat 11. In this video, he said that he feels like players should be allowed to use their custom variations in competitive tournament settings. Essentially, in Mortal Kombat 11, you're able to make custom character variations where you get to pick the special moves that you want each character to have, so that they can play the way that you want them to play. And True Underdog Gaming feels like players in competitive tournament setting should be allowed to play with whatever custom variations they want. He feels like the way that tournaments should go is that players can come in and say, I want my Scorpion to have this move, this move, this move, and this move, and that be okay. And that all players should be allowed to do this, and that it'll be fine, and as long as the game is balanced, there shouldn't be any problems with players being able to play with their own custom variations. Maximilian Dude, another popular fighting game YouTuber, said something similar in one of his videos recently. I tried to convince my friends of this a few days ago before either video came out, and none of them thought it was a good idea. They all thought it was a shitty idea, and they just essentially just weren't vibing with it. So now that two prominent fighting game YouTubers agree with my idea, I want to propose this idea to my friends again and see how they feel about it. Um, because when I proposed the idea, I was like, guys, it's not that bad. It's not that bad at all. And everybody shat on it. Everybody shat on it. I think at one point they said that, like, so there are like six people in the room, and you're like the only person in the room who like thinks it's a good idea. That's like less than 20% of people. So if we apply that to like the entire fighting game community, that means that like less than 20% of the fighting game community would agree with you. Why would NetherRealm Studios ever propose that you do that in a competitive setting if like less than 20% of fighting game players like enjoy it? So for one, that was kind of dumb, mainly because of the fact that like we're like six people. So to apply that to like the whole fighting game community, is like a weird like inflated statistic. Like you need like more people to poll in order to determine that. Uh, but two, I don't know. I feel like less weird about thinking it's a good idea to from getting other people in the community who I haven't talked to. It's not like I like email like True Underdog or Maximilian and said like, what do you think? Who like independently came to the same conclusion. Plus, there are people who have played. They are people who have played the actual game. They've like played it with the permission of Warner Brothers Studios. And if they feel like it's a good idea and they've actually played the game already and they like know how it like feels to play it, maybe I'll be able to convince my friends that it's not as weird of an idea as they think. So after watching that video, I finished exercising, I took a shower, and then I freshened up. Now, for the last few videos, I haven't had any like weird relationship drama stuff to talk about, but it's back. It's time to talk about some relationship drama. Because I mean, it has to be there. It's been a staple of the past vlogs. It's time that we bring the shit back. Let's go. So I asked Danica earlier today about what her dream job would be, and she said that any job that allowed her to travel would be a dream job for her. This makes me feel like Danica might actually be more down to move to DC for work, which makes me feel like Danica and I might be able to work out because it seems like I'm going to have to move to Washington, D.C. for work, as I have a couple job offers already, and it seems like I'm probably going to take an offer in D.C. So, with that being said, I mentioned to Madde that I've been like thinking about the future and I've been thinking about Danica in like a Facebook message, and then Madde hits me back up and she like kind of drops a bomb on me, boom, like drama bomb, and she says that she's considering applying for a position in the FBI, working with like language interpretation, which is like what she studies in school, and that the position is in Washington D.C. So I'm thinking, like, what? What? So Maddie has been focused on, like, moving to, like, Russia for 2 years or moving to, like, Costa Rica for a couple years. And that's been the main reason why me and Maddie have been just friends. You know, we've just been, like, hanging out a lot and that we haven't been, like, dating or even, like, even further than dating, like engaged or anything like that, because it seems like our lives are going on two different paths and we want two different things and we don't want to hold each other back from like our goals. But her showing interest and like maybe wanting to work for the government and like move to Washington D.C. is odd because I feel like I'm essentially back at square one. I feel like now both girls that I'm interested in are interested in moving to Washington D.C. and working for the government, and I don't really even know what to think anymore. A lot of times, I legitimately do feel like I live in a CW drama sometimes, because it's just odd. Because I felt like with Maddie wanting to like live in a foreign country for a couple years, that we had finally hit the point of like, okay, like this isn't gonna work. There's no way that like our two visions of what we want for the future could possibly like go together. So that's why tonight I was thinking about like Danica more, because it does legitimately seem like Danica wants to like travel for work, and that Danica, who's also like interested in cybersecurity and studying cybersecurity at my university, like would be interested in moving where there are plenty of jobs in cybersecurity, which of course would be DC, and then we could both move and like live like a happy life together, and it just seems interesting. So now Maddie also seems interested in like moving to DC and working for the government, and it's like, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to feel about it. So then, after messaging with Maddie for a bit, I started the live stream. So we've caught up with what I've done today, and now we have about 30 minutes for us to just talk, hang out, and discuss whatever you guys want. So real quick, I'm gonna look at the live chat and see what I missed. So Level Vision said, "Hey." He said, "What is a Patreon?" Then John Mason said, "Patreon is a donation website, basically." Then he said, "I don't have Patreon." Then he said, "John Mason, how do I donate to you?" And then John Mason said, "To me? Haha." He said, "I have a PayPal, but if you want to donate to me, I'd rather draw something for you." And he said, "Damn, that's complicated." I do feel like it's complicated. When it comes to the relationship stuff, I really don't know how to feel about it. I guess it's weird because I feel like with the Maddie situation is gonna shift again. Um, like right now, she's showing interest and working for the government and moving to DC, which essentially would align our two goals. We would now both essentially be wanting the same thing. We both want to move to DC and we both want to work for the government, and there would be less reason for us to break up. There really wouldn't be any reason for us to break up at all at that point, because the whole reason why we agreed to stop dating was because we were gonna like go our separate ways. Yo, Rocky Ford, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. Don't forget to smash that like button. So if me and Maddie want the same thing, then why even not be together? It's a weird situation. I just got another message from Maddie like a little while ago, so I'm definitely gonna check the message from Maddie after the stream. She knows I'm doing a live stream, so she's probably not surprised that I haven't looked at or replied to the message yet. But I imagine it has to do with the last thing we discussed. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe the situation will be completely different once this video is over. But it just seems interesting, the situation that I'm in, especially since I really like Danica, and I really like Maddie, and it just seems like both are viable options, and both know about each other, and both know that I like each one, and I don't know. It's just weird. Um, but Rocky Ford said in Yu-Gi-Oh! His ace monster is Enlightenment Paladin. What does Enlightenment Paladin do? Is that a custom monster, or is that a monster from like a particular like existing archetype? Ooh, sorry about that. John Mason said, by the way, Nick, your thoughts on Jump Force so far? I really like that Jump Force has like a bigger combo system than I thought it would. I originally thought that the Jump Force combo system was going to be really vanilla, but I like the fact that you can chain multiple light attacks and multiple heavy attacks together, that you can chain them with each other so you can alternate between light, heavy, light, heavy. I like the fact that you can go into forward attacks. Like the way that the system's set up, you have light attacks, you have heavy attacks, you have forward light attacks, you have forward heavy attacks, you have charged light attacks, you have charged heavy attacks, and you can chain them together into like complex combos as you like move forward, and it just tests your ability to like remember how many light attacks you can fit into the combo, how many heavy attacks can you fit into the combo, how many forward lights can you fit in the combo, how many forward heavies can you fit into the combo, can you fit into the combo charge attack, is your opponent like blocking, can you grab them? I like that they have high speed counters that allow you to not only block an opponent's attack, but like punish them for it. I like that you have high speed dodges where you can essentially ultra instinct dodge out of the way of an opponent's attack, and then you have the opportunity to like hit them. I like that you can sidestep attacks and you can like suddenly appear behind your opponents and like dick them. I like how the special attack system works. I feel like awakenings are weird. The only thing I don't like about awakenings is that they're a comeback mechanic, so you can't become like Goku Super Saiyan Blue right off the bat. I kind of wish it was based on how many like super meter bars you had, and that you had to spend super meter to awaken, and you could awaken early on if you just refrained from using the energy on special moves. Like I wish that the cost was don't use a lot of special moves, transform. Instead, you kind of have to get your ass whooped to transform, and I understand why. It's how it works like in anime and manga like all the time. That's like what they do. But because you have to like lose health to awaken, sometimes you just want to awaken. You're just like, "Oh, I'd really like to see my character transform into like their most badass version." But you'll just rarely see that if you're like decent at the game. Like if you're not losing a lot, then you just miss out on like a whole mechanic of the game. And it's a really like flashy and like cool to see mechanic, like to be able to go into like your awakened state. So that's one thing that I don't really like about Jump Force. Most characters look fucking great in Jump Force. My favorite design character in Jump Force right now is Pegasus. um, Blackbeard is the worst. He looks like a cartoon. They're trying to go for a realistic style. Everybody else really fits it. Blackbeard looks like trash. Don't know why he's in the game. I know why he's in the game. He's like a One Piece character, and they wanted like a One Piece like villain representative, but ugly ass. I just, and whenever I see him, that like breaks my immersion in the game. I'm like, damn, I don't know why he's here. Um, the stages that we have in the open beta, I really like Mexico. Mexico is the best stage. It looks like old school but still modern, like you're like around more or less like an ancient ruin, but you can still see it being in like in the modern day. And it's just really beautiful. I love the Mexico stage. It's the best looking stage in the game. um, I like that some people have area of effect attacks, but not everyone. Not everyone has an area of effect attack. I really fuck with that. So Rukia has one that like freezes your opponent if they step in a circle, and Sasuke has one where if they step in the circle, it like burns them and it like deals damage over time. I feel like if you made a custom character that had both those powers, you'd be like a master of fire and ice. And I just feel like it would be really dope. I'm really hyped for custom character creation in Jump Force. That's one thing that I don't like about the beta, is that in the beta for Jump Force, you can't make the custom characters. Because that's like a big thing that I've been like really excited for and that I want to see. But enough about Jump Force for a second, because I've been ignoring some of the stuff that you guys have said. John Mason said, give me some of the pros and cons. He said, for those like me who couldn't watch the whole beta test vids you did, no problem. Rocky Ford said, in a Yu-Gi-Oh! Pendulum Magician deck. Okay, his Ace Monster is Enlightenment Paladin. And then he said, how are you doing? I'm doing well. I actually went over my whole day at the beginning of the video, but if you want to check out what I did today without having to jump to the beginning of the video, don't worry, at the end I'll go over it again. Also in the description box below, I wrote out my whole day in like numbered points. There are like 11 points in the description. So if you want to read more about like my day, feel free to read that description box below. John Mason said, right, cool. Then Kel said, hello. And then John Mason said, hey, Kels. And then Kel said, hey, I posted something on the Amino. Can you check it out? Yeah, I can check it out. Let me open a tab and drag that tab over to my bottom screen. And then John Mason said, sure, Kels. I haven't been online often because school. And that's understandable. I might have to go get some water in a moment, but I'll be like there and back in no time. I know that Kels posted something about void monsters. I feel like I get the name wrong all the time. They may not be called void monsters. I think they're called VX monsters, about VX monsters, but I haven't had a chance to look at it. I clicked the wrong thing. I clicked the wrong thing. I clicked, okay, hold on. It like asked me what account I wanted to sign into Amino with, and I clicked an account that like isn't connected to Amino in any way. So it was like, the fuck? And I was like, Here we go. Let's see. John Mason said 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday and Tuesday. The other days are half day. Okay. Talking about like his school schedule. Then he said, Nick, every time you go for water, I get scared that I'll never see you. And then he said, vortex monsters. Okay, so now I need to go to my Amino because I'm logged in. I haven't looked at Comic Maker Amino in a minute. Oh, Kel's posted up Odd Eyes Soul Dragon Vortex. I like the card art. Most def. Did you make that, or did you like find that card art? Let's see. Requires 1 Odd Eyes Pendulum Monster plus 2 Pendulum Monsters in the Pendulum Zone. When this card is VX summoned, you can add 1 Odd Eyes card from the graveyard or face up in the extra deck to your hand. Once per turn, you can shuffle 1 face up card from the extra deck into the deck. Then target 1 monster on the field. This card gains attack equal to that monster's attack. Once per turn, if an Odd Eyes monster you control would be destroyed or have their effects negated, you can banish a card from your graveyard instead. It has 3,000 attack and 2,500 defense. I really like the border design that you have for VX monsters. The red glowing design is really unique. And then you have another one. No, that's the same picture. It's just the same picture twice. But it has it where the red border fills up the whole picture. That's kind of neat. It's not very readable, but it would be a cool card to have printed out. Kel said, I wish I made it. I linked the guy who made it in the post. Oh, ballin'. I'm glad that you like gave him credit in the description. I actually didn't read the description that you put on the top. I skipped like immediately to the monster. I'll be right back. I do need to get some water. The longer I talk, the thirstier I become to like where I need more water. So I'll be right back. Ooh. John Mason said, "Goodbye, Nick. Farewell. See you in the afterlife." Then Kel said, "Rip Nick." He said, "I'm taking over the show now." John Mason said, and the door closes, and Nick never to return. Oh, speaking of me, feel free to make fan art and fan fiction based around your boy and to post it on the Amino. John Mason said, "Nick's taking really long. Where is he?" Feel free to post fan fiction and fan art on the Amino of your boy Jet. Um, any fan art that you guys post, as long as it's appropriate for YouTube, if I get like 10 images of fan art, I'll make a very quick slideshow video showcasing it on the channel. So if you want your art shown on the channel, just post it to the Amino. And like I said, once I get about like 10 images, I'll make a slideshow and post it. Also for fan fiction, as long as it's 250 words or less, I will do a dramatic reading of your fan fiction, regardless of what it is. This is on the channel. So for that, I say like feel free to go ham on the fan fiction, even if it's like inappropriate. I'm just saying it. It's not like it's not like it's visual. Like there's like like stuff of it. So if there's like gore, sex, crazy monster fights, sword battles, or some shit, just go crazy. Just whatever fan fiction you want, post it on the Amino. 250 words or less. I'll do like a dramatic reading. Just for the art, I recommend not having anything too graphic because I don't want YouTube to like have a fit about it and like not let me post it. You know what I mean? So for the art, I'd say keep it like PG at most. For the fan fiction, go ham. You can do whatever you want. Let's see. John Mason said he's probably still drinking water. Then Kel said, "Everyone make not safe for work a fan art of Jet." Then John Mason said, "For the right price, Kels." Mm. I'm also down to do fan art and fan fiction contest. So where we'll like have like two pieces of fan art or two pieces of fan fiction by like different creators, and then I say, "Hey guys, which do you think is better? Vote in the comment section below for which you enjoyed the most." And in those videos, I would probably showcase like one bit of fan art from like one user and one bit of fan art from another, and I go like, "Hey guys, which did you prefer and why? Like tell us in the comment section below. I'd love to hear it." And then maybe whoever wins, I can send you like a free ebook that I wrote. You can just like have an ebook. I don't know why ebooks are always my go-to prize, but I really like it. Excuse me. And I can do the same thing for the fan fiction too, where I share two different dramatic readings of the fan fiction, and then you guys vote on which fan fiction you prefer. I'm also down for that. Then Kel said, "Mason, I'll give you like a penny to make one." Then Mason said, "Really, a whole penny, huh? Damn. That'll sort out my entire non existent rent." And then John Mason said, "Yeah, there should be a prize." And then Kel said, "If you do a contest, you should make it so that the people in the contest can't vote." Oh, so that you can't vote for yourself? Sure. That sounds like a fair enough rule for me. Um, I'd actually prefer if you can't vote for yourself, but you can still vote. So you could vote for your competitor if you wanted to for like good sportsmanship. I'd be down for that. I could also see, depending on how many submissions we got, you know, you may vote for like somebody else, like if you wanted to, if it was like more than two people. And even if it was two people, you could still vote against yourself just to be like, like, good job. Like, I liked your story. That kind of thing. Mm. There we go. Blah. But I do really like that card art. I'm actually still looking at the card art on my screen over here while I'm doing the stream. But yeah, I think fan fiction and fan art contests would be pretty dope. But we need the art and we need the fiction in order to do it. So if you guys don't post any, we can't have any contests. Then John Mason said, "Nick, how about you write one about each of your subs when you hit 1,000?" 1,000 fan fictions? That sounds like a lot. That sounds like way too many fan fictions to write. That's a ridiculous number. I'm willing to read you guys' but I don't think I'd be willing to write 1,000 fan fictions. John Mason said, "When I have time, I might try to make like a really small RPG Maker game." Ooh, now that sounds cool. Mm. And he said about you. Oh, like a game? A fanfiction game also sounds interesting. What do you think the plot of the RPG would be? And then John Mason said, Nick, well, how about over 1,000? Why would I write over 1,000 fanfictions? I feel like that's just like too many. Is too many things to write. Um, that's so many. Kel said, I want to draw a duel of like me versus you, using vortex monsters and you using plus monsters. Not the whole duel, but like 2 or 3 picks. Now that would be cool. Then John Mason said Dragon Ball Z reference. Over 1,000! Supreme God said, why are you up, Nick? It's like 2:10 a.m. For me, it is currently 1:07 a.m. Then Supreme said, but nonetheless, how have you been? I've been doing great. Actually, in about 15 minutes, I'm going to go over my whole day again. So, in a moment, if you stay tuned, excuse me, sorry about that, you'll hear about like everything I've been up to today. But today's been good. There's a little bit of relationship drama stuff that's going on in my day that I'll go into very soon. John Mason said for me it's 3:07 a.m. and Kel said for me it's 11:10. But X, aka Supreme, how's your day been? Like, what have you been up to? Also, don't forget to smash that like button. Truly appreciate it. Also, if you check in the description box below, oh, it's 11:10 p.m. for Kells. Okay, so it's 11:10 p.m. for him, and then for John Mason it's 3:07 a.m. And then Supreme said, Nick, don't remember me? I remember you, Supreme, aka X. I definitely remember who you are. I have not been confused. Uh, then John Mason said, Kells, you're lucky. You'll have more time. True, because like after these streams, I always just like go straight to bed. But yeah, X in the description box below, I have like everything like listed about like what I did today. Then John Mason said, Nick, you remember me? Of course I remember you guys. I who was someone who came on the stream recently who I knew but I didn't remember. I don't remember currently, but I feel like recently there was someone who came on the stream that I didn't see for a long time, and they were like, "Don't you remember me?" And I was like, "Yeah," but it's like been a minute. But X, it hasn't been that long. I like remember who you are. X said, "I have a child." He said, "I also finished high school, and that's it." How recently did you have a child, X? Also, congratulations on your child, and congratulations on finishing high school. Sakid said, hi, which zoo did you come out from? Then Kel said, actually, Mason, I have infinite time because I'm immortal. Does a whip. Then John Mason said, Supreme, you have a kid right out of high school? He said, interesting. I wish you the best. My friend Eric, back in the day in high school, he had a kid. And that was crazy to hear about. Because, like, I was in a class with him. And Eric was like at a hotel with his family, and there was this one girl at the hotel. So they like did a thing like by the pool house at the hotel, and then he like didn't talk to her for like a while, but they were friends on Facebook. And on Facebook, he sees like a picture of like a baby like pop up in like her Facebook feed, and he leaves a comment like, "Oh, that's a cute baby." And then she goes, "Yeah, I'm glad you like it, cause it's yours." And he said, "Whoa, whoa." So he was like, "That baby ain't mine." And he went to do like a DNA test. He was like, "Hey guys, we're gonna get the results back Thursday, and I'm going to like if the results come out and it's not my baby, I'm gonna bring like cupcakes or whatever." And then he came back Thursday, and that nigga didn't bring any cupcakes. That was a trip. That was a hell of a trip. I think that was my senior year of high school when that happened. I was like, yikes, yikes, because Eric was like younger than me. I was like, goodness, this is just a lot to have to go through. Let's see. So then John Mason said lol Kells. Then Supreme said he's 2 months. Aw, what's his name? Then Sakid put up a monkey emoji. Then Kel said they had a very long game of Uno. Then John Mason said, wow. Then Supreme said relationships are genuine bullshit. It can feel that way sometimes. John Mason said, lol, no cupcakes. Then Kel said, did he take care of the baby or did he try to avoid it? Once he learned that like he was the father, he got a job. He started going to church a lot more. He had to change really quick. Before then, he was really into like comic books and like who would win battles. I think Eric is the guy who got me into who would win battles because he would talk about like the complexity of them. A lot of times when you were a kid and someone would say like who would win in a fight, Godzilla or King Kong, you would just bullshit. You would just like imagine and like say whatever you want. But Eric introduced me to like the who would win community who were like, okay, so let's ask the question, who would win? King Kong or Godzilla? What are their feats? Can we like quantify their feats with like math? Like like if King Kong punched a hole in a mountain and the hole in the mountain was like this big, then that means that he did like so many megatons of force. Like Eric was like a really smart guy, but he like applied like his intelligence to answering questions of like who would win in a fight, Naruto versus the Incredible. Like he would like say stuff like that, and we would play games with like big groups of people where everyone had like their own superpowers that they made up. But then in order to determine like who would win in the fight, you would apply like high level like logic to like, he uses his power, so how do you use your power to defend and like shit like that. And it was really dope. But Eric is a great guy. I just feel weird about like the situation that he got put in. I haven't had a chance to talk to him in like a hot minute. John Mason said they are supreme in reference to relationships being genuine bullshit. He said they are, but you go through it for the right person, right? And then X said his kid's name is Zayden. Oh, that's not a bad name. That's not a bad name at all. It reminds me of Jaden, but like with a Z. And then he said, that's true, John. Then Kel said, Supreme, how's your kid? A couple months old. I mean, that is like a lot to go through like straight out of high school. I was like really worried for your boy Eric. Supreme said he's in good health. That's good. I'm glad that he's good. Um, Man, I have questions. I definitely have questions. So, how's the mom? I guess. Not like a question of like who's the mom. I don't want to like get in like your business or anything. I kind of am getting in your business. That's a nosy question for me to ask. But like, how's the mom? Is she like really involved with Zayden? Is it a thing where you're like working together to take care of the baby? How is your relationship? Like in my mind, I'm like I couldn't imagine like me and my high school girlfriend like having a kid like straight out of high school, because I just don't know how that would have went. Um, so I am curious. Not to get too nosy, and I totally understand if you don't want to like go like deep diving into it or anything like that. I don't want to like put you on blast or anything. And then Supreme said, "Lol, she's okay," and hella involved. That's great. That's actually really good to hear. Um, I'm always scared when my friends like have kids, because I do worry about shit. Uh, when like your friends have kids, and you're like, but what about that mom though? Like, is it like equal parts, or do you feel like you're like doing all the work? Then Kel said, I hope this doesn't come off as an insult, but Supreme, your kid has the name of like the best anime protagonist ever. I do think the Z, like by doing Zayden instead of Jaden, it does give it more of like an anime vibe. And Supreme said, we low key planned it from like seventh grade year. And he said, lol, thanks, Kels. I actually got another message from Maddie. So that's interesting. Um, with like recent relationship drama, uh, I'm gonna be moving soon for work, and the two girls that I'm interested in both seem to be interested in also moving, so I just don't know what to do. John Mason said, "Oh, so you planned it like ahead of time? Cool. Yeah, it is interesting that it was like planned ahead of time." Um, Excuse me. I guess one question that I feel like you must have been asked a lot, considering the fact that you guys planned it, would be why did you plan to have a kid like so early? Like, what made you decide, you know what, this is like the time to do it? And then John Mason said, aw, Nick, you're moving? Damn, I'll miss you. He said, so this is your last vid, huh? No, it's not my last vid. Regardless of where I move, I'm still gonna do like vlogs and stuff like that. And I'm not moving like immediately. I still need to finish college. This is my last semester of college, so in May I graduate. But then the jobs I'm applying for, there's like a lengthy application process. So it's not like you graduate from college and it's like you're hired, just come on down. It's gonna be like a few months before I can actually start working because of the fact that I have to like get through the process. So I'll still be in the area for like a good bit, but the main reason why me and Maddie have decided that we're not going to continue dating is because she wants to like move out of the country for like a few years. She wants to live in like Costa Rica or Russia for a couple of years. And I'm like, I can't do that. I'm going to be working for the government. That wouldn't be cool for me to do. But she's showed interest tonight in possibly moving and working for the government. And the other girl that I'm interested in, Danica, she's shown a lot of interest in like traveling for work, and she wants to work in cybersecurity the same way that I want to work for cybersecurity. So before it seemed like me and Maddie weren't going to be a thing because our lives were going in different directions, but now it seems like Maddie's trying to move her life in the same direction as me, and it just makes it seem like it's more likely for us to maybe still be a thing. I don't know. It's weird that she's keeping the dream alive. So then Kel said, I'm just glad you didn't name your kid after your username. Oh, Supreme God? That is an interesting name. Supreme said, we're stupid, but we're smart. Then John Mason said, I'm not having kids, but if I do, I'm going to name it God Killer Slayer Ghoul Titan Headless Samurai Duelist. Ghoul Slayer. Then Supreme said, so we decided upon it because of her little brother's passing. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. My condolences. Let's see. Kel said, we're stupid, but we're smart. He said, I can relate to that on a spiritual level. I like the I can relate to that on a spiritual level comment. That's pretty good. Favorite comment so far of the live chat. And then John Mason said, the so beautiful. Hmm. Let's see. Right now, I do feel myself getting a little sleepier, not gonna lie. In about 3 minutes, I'm going to go over my day one more time without reading the live chat, just going over my day from like point one to the final point, and then I'm gonna read the live chat a little bit more and then end the stream. So for these next 3 minutes, feel free to bring up any topics you want. Just throw questions at me. I'm an open book. You guys can literally ask me anything, and I'll hit you up with some kind of answer. It may not be the answer you expect, but feel free to ask me any questions, give me any topics, and I'll hit it up. John Mason said 3 minutes to finish hacking Nick's PC. Those hard button presses. But yeah, for the next like few minutes, feel free to like ask me anything. Because like I said, once we hit an hour, I'm gonna just go over my day. Kel said, does anyone have any tips on printing Yu-Gi-Oh cards? I'm sure there's a way to like print Yu-Gi-Oh cards, like maybe a website that's made to print them in the right format on cardstock. I definitely Google it. Just look into it. Supreme said, well, Nick, where the fuck are the words on this book? Are the words on what book? On what? um, so I publish books like all the time. I published a book recently called Swags on Fools, which was like a character concept book. So like what book are you referring to? Then John Mason said, okay, Nick, have you ever killed someone? I have never killed anyone to my knowledge. If I have killed anyone, I had no idea. John Mason said, lol, Supreme. He said, you're the book. You said you're an open book, Nick. Ah, I see. I see what you mean. Play on words. And then he said, I'm an open book. Ah, John Mason was right. Where are the words on this book? Right now, there's just a letter, S. So I have 1 minute left. Feel free to hit me up with like any questions you guys want before I go over my day. Like I said, when I go over my day, um, I just like read it and I don't read the chat. Kel said, Nick, have you ever watched JoJo? I have seen some of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. I watched the first few episodes where like it's Victorian times and it's a drama between JoJo and Dio kicks his dog in his fucking face and kisses JoJo's girl. That shit was dope. As soon as they introduced magical like vampire sun energy, I didn't fuck with it as much. I would have preferred a whole show that was about Dio being a little shit and like Joe having to deal with it. That would have been a great show. Let's see. John Mason said no, Nick. Then Ryan said Jet is dead. I am wearing like the Death of Superman, white shirt, but it has like jersey stripes on it. Let's see. Then John Mason said it's not a letter, it's hope. Mm. Superman reference. Supreme said, Kells, don't print in color, so they'd be proxies and you could use them. And he said, Nick, have you ever smashed? I have had sex. Okay, so now that we've gone over all those questions in the live chat, it's time for me to go over my day once again. And when I go over my day, I don't read the live chat while I go over my day, but I will read the live chat after I go over my day. So stay tuned if you want me to read anything in the live chat. It'll just like be a moment. I gotta go over my day first. So scrolling up. So I freshened up and went to bed, only to wake up in the morning with bad stomach cramps. I'm not used to having stomach cramps. I think it might have been from eating like some weird sushi a few days ago, but it was like it just felt like I was getting hit in my side. It just fucking sucked. So I thought I just needed to use the restroom, so I went to the restroom and I took a shit, and then I was still like bloated, and I was like, "Yo, stomach, you need to like keep going. You can't like stop." And my stomach was like, "No, no," and I'm like, "Yes, yes, you gotta shit. You gotta like finish shitting. You can't just stop shitting." So my stomach was just like, "No, I'm not gonna do it." So I stand up and I go to like wash my hands. So when I wash my hands, I try to wash my hands like a doctor. Like I try to like get in between my fingers and shit, and get in between my knuckles, and like dig my nails in the soap and shit, like make sure my hands are like really clean. But as I'm washing my hands, I'm still like getting the stomach cramps. My body doesn't want to stand. I'm like hunched forward and shit. And my body's like, "You sure you want to spend a lot of time, washing those hands? You want to wash those hands?" And like as I'm getting like torn up by my stomach, I'm like, you know what? I don't think I need to get in between the knuckles and shit. I think I'm gonna wash my hands like a normal human being and just fucking dry them. So I dry my hands. I go into my room to like lie down for a moment. So I lie down on my side, and my stomach's like, because I feel bloated, I feel like the weight of like my stomach like shift to the side, and my body's like, like the cramps just got worse, and I was like, no, no. I tried to like lie on my stomach, and my body was like, bet nigga, you think that's a good idea? Like, so I lay down on my back, and I finally feel like I'm not getting my ass whooped. So I'm lying down, I'm relaxing, I'm starting to feel better. And then I get a call from Madde, and my stomach's like, "Oh, you about to like sit up?" My stomach's like, "You want to sit up for a minute?" I feel like I'm gonna really enjoy when you sit up. I just feel it's like my stomach's like cracking its knuckles, just ready to like beat the shit out of me. So I'm like, "No, I'm not ready to sit up." And I answer the phone, but I don't sit up. And Maddie's like, "Yo, yo," and I'm like, "Hey," like I'm not feeling hype. I'm feeling like I feel like I'm about to die. And Maddie's like, "Yo, can I come over? Like, you want to hang out?" I'm like, "No, no." Like, give me some time. I don't think I'm ready. So Maddie like wishes me like the best of luck, hopes that I get better soon. And then after I get off the phone with Maddie, I'm like, fuck it. I like stand up, I walk to the bathroom, and I try once again to take a shit. And my stomach goes, Yoot! It's a hard, like, instant, like, quick shit. It goes like, it just shoots out of my body. Uh, like the first shit I took was like a normal shit. This one was like, yaga. It was like a bullet train. It's just out of me. I'm just suddenly better. It was really weird. It was just ready to leave. It was train exit the station, and I'm like, oh shit, oh, that was easy. And then I felt good for the rest of the day. I still felt a little bloated after that, but I wasn't feeling like bad cramps anymore. My body wasn't giving me the hands anymore. So I was glad that I was feeling better. So after that, I opened up chapter 2 of my business strategy class book, and I took notes. Last time I went to my business strategy class, I didn't take any notes. I didn't read the chapter, and luckily we didn't have a like pop quiz. But our teacher has told us like, niggas, sometimes we're gonna have pop quizzes. And I'm like, last time I lucked out. I don't want to get pop quizzed this time, so I better take these notes. So taking these notes on chapter 2. I'm just running through these notes. I'm like, I feel like I'm ready. So then I did a fan poll stream, but because I did it so late due to the cramps and everything, no one got a chance to vote in the fan poll. So because no one voted, I streamed the Jump Force open beta again, which got a lot of attention because once again, I streamed while the beta was closed. So because no one else could stream the open beta, people were hitting on my video like, "Whoa! Like, how are you streaming the open beta? It's not even open." And there are like news reports that came out today, like Jump Force servers down. Jump Force open beta had to be rescheduled due to servers down. I'm over here just fucking playing. People are just watching like this is impossible. The servers are down. How was he doing? So we got like 140 viewers live. And I was like, dang, nice. Nice. It's crazy to get that many viewers live. Imagine if we had 140 viewers live on this. I'd be like, what? Nani? But it was really hype. Then in my business strategy class, we had another awesome discussion. This time it was about competitive forces. I brought up a topic in class that started like a huge discussion about older demographics purchasing video game consoles as substitutes for cheaper traditional media players. I've noticed that old people, and it's weird to say old people, but like people our parents' age and older are now buying video game consoles instead of buying Blu-ray players. So a Blu-ray player nowadays is like $30. They used to be more expensive back in the day when they were like brand new, but now it's pretty inexpensive to get a Blu-ray player. But for whatever reason, older people will, instead of buying a Blu-ray player, will buy like a PS4, even though a PS4 is like 10 times the cost of a Blu-ray player. And you think to yourself, like, why? Like, why would I spend 10 times as much money to get something to like play Blu-rays? And the reason why is because a PS4 does more than play Blu-rays. It's like you can stream Netflix or like Hulu on your PS4. You can play video games, but you don't have to use it to play video games. You can stream the internet. You can go on YouTube. You know, because video game consoles aren't like how they used to be, where maybe they act as a media player where they can play like CDs and DVDs, and they were mainly used to play games. Now video game consoles are just straight up media players, and you can use them for a variety of different things. Even when the Wii was out, the Wii, a lot of old people bought the Wii to use it for like Wii Fit and to like use like Netflix and like shit like that. Um, so it's interesting to see that video game consoles are being like purchased more by older people in order to try and like get that like extra bit out of their media player. Also, I noticed that we got more viewers who popped in. Hey, yo Kirby, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. Welcome back to the stream, Kels. Don't forget to smash that like button if you haven't already. Right now, I'm going over my day before the end of the stream. Then after I go over my day, I'm gonna read the live chat a little bit more, and then I'm gonna end the stream. So, it actually started up like a big conversation in the class, and I'm glad that I was able to like create such a big conversation piece for that class, especially since it's a really big discussion based class. Also, I really like the teacher in that class. She always analyzes your logic on everything, and she says logic like 30 times in class. Like, whenever anyone says anything, she's like, oh, I couldn't wrap my head around that logic. Oh, that's some interesting logic you have there. Oh, your logic relates directly to like their logic. And whenever she like doesn't understand, well, whenever she doesn't feel like you understand something in class, her eyes will go like, and then she'll go like, do you get what I'm coming from? Huh? Huh? And she does the finger guns and she like points at everybody. She's just very animated and very like discussion based. But I really enjoy her class. It's pretty much one of my favorite classes that I've taken at the university. And all my classes that fall in that category have been discussion based classes. Only thing that would make it better if we wrote a paper. Just saying. I really like papers. I really like discussions. So I'm really glad that I read chapter 2 and took notes on it before I went to class because we did have a pop quiz. So I was ready for that pop quiz. uh, and it was really easy. I was one of the first people done with the pop quiz. I feel like I didn't really need to read the chapter, but I'm glad that I did just to get like that extra like preparation out of the way. But it seemed like it was a pretty easy pop quiz to begin with. So I could have gone either way. So after that, I then was picked up by Maddie to go to a cookout. Maddie actually hung out in the building where I was taking my class and waited for me to get out of class so that we could go to cookout together for milkshakes, milkshakus. And I ate my one meal for the day with Maddie. I tried cheer wine for the first time. I would describe it as a better patio cherry. Patio cherry is a cherry soda that tastes like cough syrup. Cheer wine takes that and makes it taste more like a cola. Even though it has wine in the title, it's not alcoholic, it's just a soda. It's not bad, it's just not the best. I actually prefer patio cherry because it tastes more like cough syrup. I know that sounds weird, but it's such a unique flavor. The fact that you can like only compare it to cough syrup, right? Shows that like you don't taste that often. Where cheer wine tastes like a cherry coke, but with like more emphasis on cherry than on the coke part of it. So cheer wine to me, I'm like there are plenty of substitutes for cheer wine. You could drink like cherry coke, or you could taste like a Dr. Pepper or a Dr. Pepper cherry and get like a similar flavor. But there aren't substitutes for patio cherry. If you're not drinking fucking cough syrup when you're sick, then you're not tasting that flavor ever. So I feel like that's why I fuck with patio cherry. Like if you want that flavor, you gotta drink the patio cherry. so scrolling through, Maddie and I then went back to the dorm and we worked on homework for a bit before class. I then turned in my marketing case study only 2 minutes before the start of class. I cut it really close on that marketing case study. It took a minute to like get in on that. So then in marketing, we had a very interesting conversation discussing the difference between food porn and porn food. Food porn is just really nice pictures of food. Porn food is a little less safe for work. The reason why it came up is because our teacher is Italian, and in Italy, the adjective noun relationship is in reverse. So you normally say the adjective first and then the noun. But as she was saying porn food in class, I could notice people in the room going like, I don't think she's saying what she means. And someone raised their hand and like corrected her on it. But it was really interesting. That class is also like discussion based, but it doesn't feel as like open forum as the business strategy class. So I can't put it into the same like favorites category as I do the business strategy class. Though I will say that the marketing class is a lot of fun. And I love the subject matter because the subject matter has a lot to do with like what I do with like YouTube and what I do on social media. It relates to like a lot of the things that I like actively do all the time. So I do really enjoy that class, even if it isn't one of my favorites. I then went back to the dorm and I watched the first two parts of the CW Elseworlds crossover and fell asleep during the third part. I woke up and I thought about the future for a bit, thinking about Danica, and then I started exercising. I finally made my playlist of the best songs from this week's SoundCloud Weekly. SoundCloud Weekly is an automated playlist that SoundCloud makes based on your listening history, where they're like, hey, you've been listening to these songs and we think you'll like these songs. So I'm like listening to the songs, I find the best ones, and then I make a playlist out of them. So this playlist, I actually have the link to it in the description below. It's going to be my personal soundtrack for the rest of the week. I'm just going to listen to that playlist over and over again in order to try and like teach SoundCloud like these are the songs I like to listen to so that SoundCloud can start making better SoundCloud weeklies. Because I want to eventually train SoundCloud to be so good to where it's like, hey, I know that you would want to listen to this, and that, and hopefully the playlist will get bigger over time. So while exercising, I watched a video by True Underdog Gaming. He's a popular fighting game YouTuber, and the video was talking about Mortal Kombat 11. In this video, he said that he feels like players should be allowed to use their custom variations in competitive tournament settings. So in Mortal Kombat 11, you're able to create like custom move sets for your characters. So like your Scorpion could have different special moves than like let's say your mom's Scorpion or like your girlfriend's Scorpion, and that's really interesting. The fact that they do that. So with that, a True Underdog Gaming feels like in competitive tournament settings, they should allow for like professional players to play with the Scorpion that they like to play with, to allow them to like play with the Scorpion that has the special move set that they're looking for, like that they want to play with, and he doesn't see any problems with that because he's like, as long as the game is balanced, it doesn't matter what moves are on like the characters. It should be more about allowing players to play the way that they want to play. Maximilian Dude, who's another popular YouTube fighting game player, said something similar in one of his videos recently. I tried to convince my friends of this like a few days ago before either of those videos came out, and none of them thought it was a good idea. They all shat on it. They all thought that it would just be bad to allow for custom character variations in Mortal Kombat 11 tournaments. And now that two different fighting game YouTubers have agreed with me, I want to propose this idea to my friends again and see how they feel about it. Because I mean, I was like in a room with like five other people and they all said it was a bad idea. So to see two people who have played some of Mortal Kombat 11 already, like a very early version of it, but still have like already like put their hands on it, say, "Oh, I don't see any issue with people making their own custom variations and playing them in tournament," makes me feel better about the fact that I think it's a good idea. Because I mean, it did feel weird to be in a room where like you are just truly the minority and you're the only one who thinks it's a good idea. Because I honestly thought that it wouldn't be that bad at all. So after I finished exercising, I took a shower and freshened up a bit. I asked Danica earlier today about what her dream job would be, and she said that any job that allowed her to travel would be her dream job. So me and Danica are both studying like cybersecurity at my university. She's interested in going on more dates in the future now that me and Madde are divorced, and the fact that me and Madde are like just friends right now. So it seems like in terms of like a future with Danica is looking a little bit brighter. The idea that she's looking for a job in cybersecurity and that she'd be interested for working for the government and that she wants to travel, and the fact that I'm going to be traveling for work in cybersecurity in the near future, it just seems like it's more likely for me and Danica to be able to actually like travel together and for our relationship to like carry on and for us to not have to end things because she'd eventually also move to where like I was at, and we could like work together and like have a relationship together. So I was talking with Madde on Facebook, and I was telling Madde about how I was thinking about the future and how Danica seems like really interested in like travel, and I was thinking about Danica. And Madde essentially like drops a bomb on me in the messages. She goes like, "I've been thinking a lot about my future as well, like really hard." And she says that she's considering a position in the FBI, working for the government in Washington D.C., where she would do language interpreting, which is what she wants to do for the government. And the only reason like why me and Madde weren't together, at least based on what we've discussed in the past, is because our lives seemed like they were going in different directions. You know, Madde was interested in like moving overseas for a couple of years. We actually talked about that earlier today, how she's interested in maybe living in Costa Rica for 2 years or living in Russia for 2 years. And I was like, well, with me working for the government, there's no way in hell that I'm gonna like move to Russia for like 2 years working on like cybersecurity. And I doubt that I'd be able to live in like Costa Rica for 2 years. Neither of us want us to stop the other person from doing like following their dreams. So we agreed that it would be better to, after our divorce, to like stay friends. We're still like best friends. We hang out all the time, but not like try and carry on a relationship. And Madde knows that I'm pursuing Danica, and Danica knows that I still have like feelings for Madde and everything. But Danica's cool with like me and her dating now that me and Madde have like broke things off, and Madde's cool with the fact that like I'm pursuing Danica. But now that Madde's shown interest in like moving to DC and working for the government, it seems like there's less reason for me and Madde not to be together, and I feel like I'm back to square one. I went from feeling like I had a good idea of like my future in terms of like relationship goals to where I was like, well, now I can like fully dedicate myself to like Danica, because even though me and Madde are good friends and we hang out all the time, we both have decided that we're gonna go in like different directions in our life. But by Madde bringing this up, the idea that she's interested in moving to Washington D.C. and she's interested in like working for the government, and that she's like thinking about this while like considering her future and like thinking like deeply about her future, it just feels like she's into doing it like again. Like she's into like the idea of maybe us like trying to make it work. And I just don't know how to feel because it's been like a weird roller coaster because Madde will jump from being really interested in the relationship to being like, nah, I have like other plans, and those plans will like flip flop back and forth. So it's just like a weird situation to be in. I legitimately feel like I live in a CW drama sometimes, the way that like the relationship stuff goes. But after messaging with Madde for a bit, I started the live streams. Now I'm caught up. Now I need to read the live chat because I feel like I've missed a hell of a lot. So let me scroll up on the live chat. So let's see. I have missed a good bit. Do 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 do. I missed a hot bit. Okay. Do 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 do. So Ryan said, I saw Spider-Verse. Ryan, what do you think of Spider-Verse? Then X said, huh? Then John Mason said, Spider-Verse is amazing. Then X said, my son moving up. Right, good job. Then God said, I'm gonna call it X. X said, nice meeting you all. But you gotta lurk here now. You gotta lurk here now. Then Ryan said, I've also seen Reign of the Supermen. Then Kel said, Nick, you should have answered X's question in extreme detail, like talking about having had sex. There is a story behind it, but I feel like now I'm like ending the stream. I can share that story with you guys in the near future, but that's practically like its own video, to be honest. Ask me about that like soon. Like ask me about that tomorrow, and I can share the story. Ryan said my older sister's foot has a cramp, so I carried her bag into the house. Ah, I see. Cramps suck. They really do. Kel said, Darkness, is Reign of the Superman good or nah? I'm also curious about that answer. X said, I bet she appreciated it. I agree. Then John Mason said, lol. Then Ryan said, Kels, did you watch the earlier movies in the series? Then John Mason said, it sounds like your stomach is a version of Venom and you're Eddie. Man, if that's what Venom's like, that was very shitty. No pun intended. Kel said, at Ryan, no, didn't know there was a series. Then Ryan says it's a part of the DC animated movie universe. He said there are like 13 movies in the series. Kel said, I'm back, what I miss? Then Kirby said, pineapples to assault mode. I still need to see Kirby's messages about assault mode. I haven't had a chance to read them yet. Ryan said, you should watch them all, but Death of Superman is the only one absolutely needed to be watched in order to understand Reign of Superman. By the way, Ryan, would you be willing to rewatch Reign of Superman with your boy? Then Kel said, lit. Then X said, yo, Kirby. Then John Mason said, after the stream, he's going to set up everyone. He's going to set up that everyone watches Nick's sleep stream. Anyone going to pop in? Then Kirby said, hiya. And then X said, off John. Then John said, not sure if I'm going to be able to stay for that stream, though. Then X said, yes, John. Then Kel said, everyone make sure to check out my recent Amino post because I love attention. His post is pretty ballin'. It's of some of the custom cars that Kels has been working on. John Mason said, cool, cool. Let me know if he snores. Then X said, I already know that he does. Then John Mason said, damn, it sucks that I missed that stream today, though. I was in school. X said, I'm under his bed now. Aha, under my bed. I don't even sleep in a bed. Also, which one? I have two beds. I don't sleep in either of them. Kirby said, milkshakes. He said the new developer of YGO Pro 2 is making the game for mobile, by the way. John Mason then said, really? Nice. And then Kel said, dope. So Nick can play it. And then he said, damn it, Chromebook. Then X said, Kirby deserves more subs for real. He puts in work. You're not lying. Kirby's one of like the nicest YouTubers. I feel like he does deserve more subscribers. That's a fact. Kirby said 19 subs away, bros. He says Senpai has almost been noticed. He says you deserve 500 at least. Minimum. Then John Mason said, I know, right? He's so close. Then X said, you stream long as fuck. Then John Mason said, Kirby streams. And then Kirby said, I streamed a bunch. John Mason said, they should allow that. It adds more this time John Mason's talking about custom character variations in Mortal Kombat 11. He said they should allow that. It adds more diversity, and not to mention, it's like a card game in a sense, as you bring your own variation as the same as like having decks to fight it out. Facts. Fucking facts. That's actually a good as fuck way to think about it. I agree with that. Kirby said Smash 4 allows for like custom special moves. He said also MKX somewhat allows for like custom variations. Then Kirby said she has started moving towards translating a foreign language, so that would work for her. Yeah, she studied a lot of like Spanish, and now she's studying like Russian. So it seems like if she was to take like a FBI position in Washington D.C. interpreting foreign language, it's exactly what she like wants to do. I asked her about her dream job recently, and she said that her dream job would be interpreting, which makes sense. That's what she goes to college for. So the idea that she might like want to like move to like DC, which is where it seems like I'm gonna move for work, shows that like maybe Maddie and I could still be a thing. But then what does that mean for me and Danica? Will Maddie actually stick with that, or do you think she'll like flip flop and like go to something else? Because it wouldn't be the first time she did that. I just feel weird. I feel like all over the place in that sense. John Mason said, "Well, I guess it does, but way less options than Mortal Kombat 11." Then Kirby said, "It's just three different variations of each character in Mortal Kombat X." Then John Mason said, "This seems like that question I brought up before, with who would you save between the two?" John Mason once asked, "Who would I save, Danica or Maddie?" And I did bring up when you asked that question before that I would want to save both of them. But if I couldn't save both of them at the same time, I'd have to try and save Maddie first because I just feel like I have like a very strong connection with Maddie. I feel like I know her better than like most other people, and I just feel like it would be wrong to like not try and save her first. I do feel like I have a bias. But even if I did save her first, I would immediately try to save Danica. Even if it was a situation where someone is like, it's impossible for you to save them both, I would still try to save them both. But if I had to save them one at a time, I do feel biased, and I do feel like I would try to save Maddie. I really want things to work with Maddie. I just feel like she flip flops a lot. I'm just not sure if like I can really trust that she does want to like go to work in DC, or if she feels like that now, but like in the near future she just won't. Then Elliot Ragg said, "I've never seen a gay black guy with a beard." Then John Mason said, "Me neither. That's interesting. Where'd you see one, Elliot?" Then X said, "Mortal Kombat. I'm leaving now. I'm tired." Understood. I hope you have a wonderful night, X. I hope you sleep well. Then John Mason said, "Later, X. Sleep well." And then John Mason said, "Find out next time on Nickabenson Ball Z." Yo, thank you all for watching. If you like this video, make sure to smash that like button, favorite, comment, subscribe, and ding, 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 ring that notification bell to be notified whenever we do these live streams. I really appreciate you guys all tuning in. This is your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black, the one and only, logging out. Peace. Hope you all have a wonderful night.